Here we are.
It's quite pretty, isn't it?
The stones
Wow.
of Craignadoon, right?
That's pretty epic, isn't it?
Well, hello there, I'm Sam Heughan, and the last 8 seasons of Outlander has been an absolute pleasure. But even though we are coming to an end, dinna fash, because there are going to be a lot more epic stories in the prequel, Outlander, Blood of My Blood. I would be delighted to introduce to you Jamie Roy. Jamie, who are you?
Hi there. I'm Jamie Roy. I play Brian Fraser. Brian Fraser is Jamie's father. Brian has an epic love story of his own with Elle Mackenzie, who is Jamie's mother. A lot of forbidden love in rival clans in Scotland, so it's something very, very exciting to look forward to. By the way, can I just say how cool it is to actually be here at Craignadoon?
I know, they are an epic symbol of Outlander, and actually these stones are what brings Claire to Jamie in Outlander. So I thought it would be, you know, a really iconic place to pass the baton of Outlander over to yourself. I just wondered, while we're here and no one's around, would you possibly give me some spoilers? I mean, are the stones in Blood of My Blood?
Now that'd be telling, eh? Good try, son, good try.
Before we do our little meet the family or meet the clan, so to speak, I thought it would be a cool idea to climb just a wee Munro.
Just a wee one.
Yeah, like that one there. Should we do it?
Count me in.
Let's go.
Fantastic.
And I brought my hip flask with me.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it's got a wee bit left.
A wee bit left? Where did the rest of it go? Sam, that's not very wee.
It's steeper than it looks. That really is one of the great things of filming in Scotland. Seeing this country. Here we are. Slanjava. Welcome to the party. Come on in.
Thank you very much. Hi, guys.
In the books, there are only brief mentions of Jamie's parents, so I'm looking forward to seeing how they've built out their story in Blood of My Blood. Brian and Ellen, hello, how are you?
Hey.
I mean, it's great to meet you guys. And actually, we've only kind of just met. You guys had just wrapped shooting. But for me, yeah, I just no expectations, and I was very, very excited. Actually, I think I might be your #1 fan. I can't wait to see what happens.
I think that's like one of the beauties about this show is because even if you've never seen Outlander before, you could come into this and enjoy it so much as a new viewer.
Yeah.
But then also, if you've been a loyal fan since, you know, season 1 of Outlander all the way through, you're going to get so much out of it as well, because you're going to see all these little Easter eggs and be able to fill in these little holes and see things, and you're going to get something out of it, which I think is pretty cool. Well, let me tell you about your roots, son. Brian Fraser lives with Lord Simon Lovett Fraser.
I'm sorry for that.
Yeah, I know, it's quite...
He's quite a character.
It's not a great upbringing. We don't have a lot of money, and it's not a great life, but Brian's pretty content, I have to say. He's this young lad, he's very happy, kind of go-lucky. Obviously doesn't have the best circumstances, but he's very much made peace with that when we first meet him. But then, of course, he stumbles across this young lady too.
But we live at Castle Leoch, which you know well. Ellen is the eldest child of Red Jacob, who was the laird of Clan Mackenzie, and when the season starts, he has just died. So she's miserable, and she's very vulnerable because now she's in a position where her brothers may well marry her off in order to form their own alliances and make the clan stronger.
Nothing like a funeral to get people in the mood for romance, right? Yeah.
And-
So true, but it is kind of like a party. Like we have the funeral and then there's like a big gathering which lasts a week and so
Wow.
many people are there and so she's kind of got to entertain. She's playing hostess, but she's the lady of the house now. All she wants to do is be on her own and just have a bit of space. So she's found her way into the stable and she's hiding in the corner and she just wants a bit of peace and quiet. And then some random guy comes in and
Longs down,
gets
disturbs your
comfortable.
peace.
And at the start, she's like, go away. She just wants to be on her own. But then she sees him, they see each other, and they have this thunderclap moment where they just fall in love with each other
Yeah.
straight away.
And that's it, you know, they say like love finds you when you're least expecting it. And I think that was the last thing on both of these characters' minds. And like literally time does feel like it stops. Both of us are just kind of taking each other in and just like, wow, this is unlike anything or anyone I've ever met.
That actually is the beginning of the whole love story, right?
Yeah.
It's like the moment
In that moment, yeah.
which then creates the whole of Blood in My Blood and leading on to Outlander.
But it's so simple in that moment
No
because
pressure.
they don't know who each other is. Because we're sworn enemies, the Mackenzies and the Frasers,
Yeah.
we don't ever really interact at all.
You're like the Romeo and Juliet of the
the Romeo and
1700s, aren't you?
That's us.
I mean, I did not start the show thinking I would ever meet my parents. I didn't know that these guys were going to be part of the prequel. I was super excited when I found out they were, because I was like, oh, great. Like, I think it's really cool that Claire's parents are in the show, and I don't remember what my vision of them in my head was. But when I saw these guys a week ago, no, but when I saw these guys, I was like, oh, that's really cool. It's really awesome. Yeah, and having met Hermione and Jeremy, I'm like, yeah, they are definitely fitting parents.
So this is how Mummy and Daddy met. So
I've
Daddy-
never heard this story.
So Daddy was in the First World War, and he was having a really nasty time. So he started writing letters.
Did you know her before you went to...
No.
How did you become pen pals
So
then?
I'm working in a redaction office.
Oh.
Yeah,
It's-
you write a letter that's sort of saying all is lost and I'm in a horrible place and if anyone reads this, I need help. And then I read it and I need someone to listen.
Tell me what's worth
And then I
living
write
for.
back and then we start writing.
There's a poetic nature to Julia's letters. He really finds solace in the romance. In a very dark place, he finds this little ray of hope and this light, and he really sort of clings on to that.
I think the war gives the characters well, at least Julia, a survival instinct. I think probably Henry as well. And you learn how to, in any scenario you're put into, how to survive and how to make the most of it. I also think maybe the mentality was a little bit more robust back then. I feel like whether it was the war, whether it was just how people thought, I feel like they had a much more practical and hardy outlook on life and survival in general.
As someone now who's watched your performance and seen some of yours, it's the thing that I like about what both of you have done is have this sort of strength of character and resilience. You know, these are tough gals.
Yeah. Actually, that's one of the first things I said to Matt when I got the role. I said, having watched what you did, Katrina, I was like, she's obviously someone that she's not constantly crying and feeling sorry for herself in any scenario. She obviously has that hardiness throughout. And I said, is that something similar that you'd like? And he said, absolutely, that's what we would want. Yeah.
Tough broads.
Yeah.
Well, I think Diana created the most incredible character in Claire. She is incredibly strong-willed. She has an innate sense of justice. She will fight for that justice. She doesn't take slights lightly. But she lives and loves with incredible passion. She fights fiercely and she loves fiercely. And I don't know which one of my parents she got it from.
That's sort of like living by your wits and things, and both of us have to do that.
Claire's extremely talented. She's got so many different talents, right? I mean, she's... Yes, I do. But I feel like when I walked into Julia's flat for the first time, I was like, there was painting, there was about 5 instruments. She had so many different skills, and that bleeds into the series, and she's constantly having to use those skills to get by and avoid different challenges. So I think that's definitely been I want to say inherited from you because I feel like it's an odd way around, but inherited.
No, but as we learned that Brianna is an incredible artist.
Okay.
I don't think that was a direct thing from me, but maybe it
skipped a generation.
It skipped a generation and came from Julia.
Yeah.
What did you bring to the party?
Yeah, come on.
Nothing. Just bad chat and.
I think you're very romantic, though, because I think Julia's she's romantic for sure, but she's very practical.
Yes.
And I feel like perhaps you're bringing more of the romance.
Yes, and it was his idea to have this sort of romantic trip up to Scotland.
Yeah.
I have a question. Wait, why did you leave me?
We went on a holiday.
So you were a nightmare when you were a child, right? So we needed a break. And,
needed a second.
Yeah. No, we leave you
while
we go off to a holiday. Good point.
Claire has abandonment issues, and I want them sorted right now.
Yeah, no, we love Claire, but I think after everything that our characters have been through, we just want to go on a holiday with just us.
At the heart of both Outlander and Blood of My Blood are family and clans. Like all families, there's love, but also rivalry. Between the clans, there are alliances and marriages, but often there's also mistrust and politics. The Mackenzie clan motto is Luceo non oro, which means I shine, not burn. The Mackenzies are defined by their fiery spirit.
Mackenzie's loyal, heroic, compassionate, good looking. And I'm really, this is my great-great-great-great-grandfather, Pappy Buck.
I think it's 4
Is that the
or 5.
right amount of removes?
Great-great-great-great-great-grand auntie.
No, you're my
And grandmother-in-law, but you're also my auntie. You're my friend, and great-great-great-great
Grandfather. That's right, son.
Harriet, tell us about the Mackenzies.
These are my brothers, sister, granddaughter, and then
Go.
pal, good pal.
Nephew, isn't it? Yes.
The brother's son.
Yeah. Dougal Mackenzie is my father. Mother is Gaelis Duncan, which is another shoot-off.
I really hope there's a family tree going up whilst we're all talking this, because my brain's gone to mush.
Of course. Here you go. Simple. If you understand time travel.
At the start of the show, our dad, Red Jacob, dies. And these two young boys, teenage boys, are really thrust into a world of competition and deep rivalry for a seat on that throne, which will ensure them safety and meaning of their purpose of life and what they've trained for all their lives. So Red Jacob not leaving an heir really leaves everything open to violence and to chaos and to scheming, which they deploy throughout season 1, which we'll see as tactics at that ultimate prize of the throne. Colum's he's the only one who really sees the state of the clan for what it is, how financially unsecure it is, and how unstable the Mackenzie situation is. So yeah, it's two brothers really having to step up and become men.
It's very easy to play Dougal because you can kind of just do whatever comes into your head. Everyone else has to exercise temperance when someone frustrates them in a scene, whereas Dougal would just either get up and leave or, I don't know, pull a knife out.
Graham gave me a lovely piece of advice, which was that Dougal is entirely complicated in everything he does, and everything's always for a reason, I think, to develop a character that eventually becomes so passionate about his country and freedom, so much so that it compromises his own self. Despite on the surface looking inherently selfish, I think he becomes the exact opposite. Young Dougal's someone who I've always felt emotional when reading him on the page, because you always sort of feel sorry for him not being able to see the bigger picture. But that's something that's always been super interesting. And I get to punch loads of people, so it's really good fun.
So Jocasta, she's the youngest of the Mackenzies. She's married to John Cameron, who we haven't met yet, but that we know is definitely quite a bit older than her, and she is very not happily in this marriage, but she doesn't realize how much she does not want this marriage until she kind of compares herself to Ellen's situation and inequality, and that kind of hope and want for more just exacerbates throughout the show, and it's difficult for her.
Hell yeah.
Brianna found out her sort of Mackenzie bloodline quite later in life, And but I feel like she's always felt quite a pull to Ellen in just this really inexplicable way. I think even there's a scene where she looks at your portrait, and there's a scene where she's got your pearls, and I feel like she's always found a strength for you, for your spirit in a weird way. And I think even in those inanimate objects, I feel like she's sort of felt your soul come through, and it's really helped her in tough times and really kindled that Mackenzie fire in her, which is very cool. So thanks, thanks, Granny.
So gorgeous. You're welcome. We did a scene actually the other day with the pearls, and it was so cool seeing them because like they were labelled. It was like Claire's pearls, and then it was like Brianna's pearls underneath, and then it was Ellen's pearls.
I have to say, before we knew there was going to be a prequel, often people ask us what's the one thing you want to steal from set, and I nearly pocketed those, so it's a good job I didn't.
Clan Mackenzie.
Clan Mackenzie.
Clan Mackenzie.
Clan Mackenzie.
The Fraser clan motto is Je suis prêt. The Frasers are all heart. I play Jamie Alexander Malcolm Mackenzie Fraser. Thanks for that, Dad, for all the names. Yeah, and I think, you know, he is, I guess, the culmination of all these great relatives and grandparents. You know, he's obviously loyal, he's passionate, he's got that Fraser fire. He's a strategist.
I play William Henry Clarence George James Ransom.
We're going to be here all day.
Lord We all have a good Fraser fire.
Fire, but everyone's quite nice as well. Like they're good people.
Yeah.
Good people.
At the core, yeah.
Yeah.
Jamie Fraser's a chip off the old block, right?
There you go.
I mean,
Dad here. Talk about hitting the gym.
I don't know if you know. It might have been the Milkmans or something. Or you might have been, but no. I play the 11th Lord Lovat, Simon Fraser, clan chieftain of the Fraser clan, father of Brian Fraser, grandfather of Jamie Fraser. Je suis pressed, I am ready. Lord Lovat's ready for anything. To get where he was, I think he's a very uncompromising individual. If you get in his way, you better get out of his way.
If this is something that unites us all, this fighting spirit we have, we don't start a fight, you know.
We sure finish it.
But we can finish it, absolutely.
In terms of Fraser characteristics, I mean, there's got to be strength in there, loyalty, and probably a man of few words, I say, which is something I definitely don't get from my father. He's the opposite, I think.
In real life or?
No comment.
Cheers.
I play Davina Porter, and I'm not obviously a Fraser by name, but I get entangled in the Fraser bloodline.
Because I am Brian's mother.
I think she's become quite canny as a character, surviving in this world of the Frasers.
I definitely think that Brian's good nature comes from Davina.
The matriarch.
Yes.
I give you the matriarch of the Frasers.
I play Myrta Fitzgibbons Fraser, and I'm a little bit outside the Fraser clan. So at the start, Brian and I are thick as thieves. We're cousins, we're brothers. My character has quite a tricky line to walk because he has been taken on as a ward in the Fraser family, but he also doesn't know whether he should be aligning himself with the Mackenzies. So he's somewhat stuck in the middle. I wear my heart on my sleeve, or Myrta does, which I think is probably quite a good Fraser trait. And Myrta's quite cheeky. He sort of smiles his way through difficult situations.
It's interesting that the Fraser family does have all of these waifs and strays that they take them on, from Fergus to Adso.
I think that's where Marsley comes good as well, is that she's part of that family, that she was a bit of a riot. I think Fergus's innate Fraserdom is what makes them and their family what they are and turn good. And yeah, he is your son, I think.
He is, I think, yeah. Well, even, you know, young Ian, who's...
Technically your nephew.
Technically nephew, but it almost feels like there's this father-son relationship as well.
Completely. Yeah. We really rely on each other.
What an amazing extended family you have, you know, from Myrta being his godfather through to Jamie's own children that he's had, but also people that he's brought into the family, like Marsley and Fergus. So, yeah, an incredible family, and what a force to be reckoned with. This is a great representation of a Scottish clan. You know, they're on one side, they're loyal and trustworthy, and on the other, who knows? There's so many love stories, especially in Outland, but it sounds like Blood in My Blood. And it's not just romantic love, and I think, you know, the love that Jamie and Myrta have is incredible. It's really, really beautiful. There's the Jamie Brianna love story and William, like all of these people, that we're all definitely connected by love. And I think obviously the romance is what we're here for, but I think the love that they have amongst each other and amongst the Fraser family is so strong. So yeah, it's beautiful.
Love, Fraser love.
Love it.
Love it. Love it by name, love it by nature.
You know, when we started Outlander 12 years ago, the concept of having another show as epic as Outlander, I never even thought of it. And then to sit in a room like the Great Hall with these two amazing casts and bring them together, and just the joy of that, I don't know, I mean, it just, my heart kind of exploded.
It's not just our incredible leads that makes Outlander truly special. It's also the supporting cast. They weave this world into a vibrant tapestry, creating family both on and off screen.
It's been amazing to like come on the journey and travel. You know, when Lizzie joined Brianna on this massive journey over to America, I certainly didn't expect how far like I would come in the storyline as well. So to get to see all of the different characters come and go and to kind of be the constant that carries on throughout it while supporting the family has been amazing, really.
Yeah. I mean, it just feels like to be a part of this ensemble, like we just do feel it is just so supportive. And then that's kind of reflective in the writing as well. Like the characters, friends and families and neighbours and everybody is so supportive. Just we do want best for each other, which is a lovely environment to work in, for sure.
Can we cue some slow piano music you guys slowly push in as I relate this? No, look, yeah, Lord John is a complex character, has a complex relationship with the Frasers. He's raising their son, Jamie's son, William. He's at one time agreed to marry Brianna. He's married Claire at another point. I mean, there's nothing he wouldn't do to be a good friend to the Frasers. And I hope that it's a friendship that I hope will go down, you know, with some of the great friendships in history, you know, like, I don't know, Batman and Robin. Yeah, he's there for the Frasers all the time.
Yeah, joining the family was amazing, quite overwhelming in some ways, but joining with Joey, he plays my brother, and Charles was nice because we kind of joined as our own little cohort. I mean, being in a love triangle is fun when you're the one that two people like are fighting over. That's pretty fun. I don't know if I'd love it as much if I was having to fight for somebody else's heart, but being fought over is quite fun. It's never happened in real life, so may as well enjoy it.
Like Paul said, there's no real small characters. Like I really didn't expect her to be so involved as the series went on, and she kind of became like the eyes and ears of Leoch, really, and has so many amazing kind of relationships with a lot of different characters. She's kind of a bit of a gossip. It's been an absolute treat working with Harriet. I think we formed such a strong bond as well in that bedchamber. I never seem to leave that atmospheric bedchamber.
Such a brilliant character to play because he's constantly shifting character within character to suit each individual within the show. I think our very first day was the trickiest scene because these two are popping off at each other and Ned's trying to wrangle both of them. But again, the same as Paul said, there's like this odd feeling of support that spills into real life. So when we're shooting scenes together, like we want each other to do well and we're great at pushing each other and stuff. So it's a really special role to play for that, yeah.
You know, I look at all of these people and the first word that comes to mind is gratitude, because I don't think people understand how hard it is to get to this point. And I mean, I don't take that for granted every day. I think, boy, we're really lucky to have been on this journey together, and excited also for this new group to experience that as well.
I think with this fandom, I remember the first time meeting some of these people who this show has changed their lives, or they've made so many friends through it, or it's got them through grief or something. And I had no idea the impact that the stories and the characters and all of it has had. And I think it was quite profound to learn that you're part of something that is as meaningful as that. So I hope you all get to experience that as well. I think it's a really special and also very unique anomaly to be a part of. So I'm extremely grateful.
I mean, I think we've been so spoiled to have so many years of the show doing so well and being promoted so well. Every single year, stars have been so amazing, and they've put these massive billboards up. And it's almost like you start to get used to it until you realize, like, this may never happen again. And it's a really amazing thing that we've been a part of. And I hope you guys get to have the same experiences for a very long time. It's really very special and it's not to be taken for granted.
I just want to say congratulations, because you've made such an incredible show. And like you said, it's so rare for a show to go on that long these days. I feel like things are cancelled left, right and centre. So it's amazing that you've made this and it's so loved. And I feel very proud to be joining, and we've got some big boots to fill.
We are actually going to be the biggest fans of your show, honestly. I can't wait to see all the younger versions of ourselves, or the characters that we love. And I think, you know, also a big thank you to our writers and showrunners, but also Diana Gabaldon, she was the beginning of all this. So, but good luck, and we're rooting for you.
You're in great hands, and our amazing crew and everything. It's just been such a big family. So welcome to the clan.
Are we saying goodbye right now? Is that what's happening? Because I'm not ready for it.
A toast to end one chapter and the beginning of another. Everybody, Outlander!